We all know the story of David and Goliath, right? A young shepherd, basically a kid, standing against a battle-hardened giant. No armor, no army, just a sling and a few stones. It sounds like a story about a massive underdog, a one-in-a-million shot, but I think we've been looking at it all wrong. This isn't just a story about courage. It's a profound lesson in perspective. See, when everyone else looked at Goliath, they saw an unstoppable force. They saw his height, his massive spear, his heavy armor. They measured the giant and felt their own smallness. The entire army of Israel was paralyzed by fear. But David saw something different. He didn't focus on how big the giant was. He focused on how big his God was. He saw the same giant, but through a different lens, the lens of faith. And that changed everything. In our own lives, we face giants all the time. They might not be 9-foot-tall warriors, but they feel just as intimidating. Maybe your giant is a mountain of debt that seems impossible to climb. Maybe it's the fear of failure that keeps you from starting that business or pursuing your dream. It could be the sting of rejection, the weight of a past mistake, or a health diagnosis that shakes your world. These giants stand in our path, and they shout at us, telling us we're too weak, too small, too unprepared. They are experts at making us feel insignificant. And what's our first instinct? We do what the army of Israel did. We start measuring the giant. We calculate the odds. We list all the reasons why we can't win, and we become paralyzed. We think, I don't have enough money. I don't have the right connections. I'm not smart enough. We try to put on someone else's armor, just like King Saul tried to give David his own. Saul's armor was heavy, it didn't fit, and it would have made David slow and clumsy. It wasn't his. This is a critical point. We often think we need to fight our giants with conventional weapons the world tells us we need. We think we need a fancy degree, a huge loan, or the approval of important people. But David teaches us a powerful truth. You don't fight your giant with someone else's armor. You fight it with what's already in your hand. What was in David's hand? A sling and a stone. To a soldier, it was a joke, a toy. But to David, it was a tool he had mastered. He had spent countless hours in the fields, protecting his sheep from lions and bears. He knew that sling inside and out. He knew its power, its accuracy. It was familiar. It was his. So, let me ask you, what's in your hand? What are the sling and stones that you've been given? It might not look like much to the rest of the world. It could be a unique skill you've developed over years of practice. It might be your unwavering persistence, your ability to get up one more time than you fall. Maybe it's your creativity, your kindness, your ability to connect with people. Or maybe, like David, it's simply your faith, a quiet, unshakable belief that you are not alone in this fight. Too often, we dismiss our own gifts. We look at our simple stone and compare it to the giant's massive spear, and we feel inadequate. But the story of David isn't about the size of the weapon. It's about the faith of the warrior wielding it. David didn't win because his stone was magically more powerful than a sword. He won because he dared to believe that what he had was enough. He won because he acted on that belief. He ran towards the giant, not away from him. That's the shift we need to make. Stop focusing on what you lack and start recognizing what you possess. Your giant thrives on your fear and your feeling of inadequacy. The moment you change your perspective, the giant starts to shrink. When you focus on your purpose, on your why, the giant's taunts become background noise. David wasn't just fighting for himself. He was fighting for the honor of his people and his God. His purpose was bigger than his fear. What is your purpose? Why do you need to face this giant? Is it for your family, for your future, for your freedom? When your purpose is clear, your courage will follow. Your giant might look impossible, but it is not all-powerful. It has weaknesses. Goliath was a giant, but he was also slow and cumbersome. His greatest strength was also a vulnerability. David, being small and agile, used that to his advantage. What are the weaknesses of your giant? The giant of debt is vulnerable to a disciplined budget and consistent payments, no matter how small. The giant of fear is vulnerable to action taking one small, courageous step. The giant of rejection is vulnerable to self-worth and the understanding that one person's opinion doesn't define you. Your giants are not as powerful as they seem. They are loud, they are intimidating, but they are not invincible. The battle is often won or lost in your mind before you ever take the first step. It's S1. When you decide to stop listening to the giant S voice and start listening to the voice of faith, hope, and purpose within you. So today, I want to encourage you to do 3 things. First, identify your giant. Name it. Stop letting it be a vague, shadowy fear in the back of your mind. Look it in the eye. Second, identify your stone. What's in your hand? What skill, what strength, what belief do you have that you can use? Don't dismiss it just because it seems small. And third, take your shot. Run towards your giant. Don't wait for the perfect moment or for someone else's armor. Use what you have right now and take that first step. Remember, David was just a boy, but he was a boy who understood that the battle belongs to something greater than himself. Your story isn't defined by the size of the giants you face, but by the courage with which you face them. No giant is bigger than your purpose. Pick up your stone. Take your shot. You might just be surprised at who falls. Thank you so much for watching. If this message resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that I hope will inspire and encourage you. I'd love to hear in the comments what stone you're picking up today. Let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, stay strong and keep believing.